Well, they kicked the can down the road again. And this is thoughts while thinking. And these opinions are mine. And the old Commerce Clause has been acting for you again. They just helped the Congress raise the national debt higher and higher. Think about it. And, we've got that upper limits that the government can borrow, but that is just kind of a silly thing because every time they reach that limit, they just raise it. And they just got through raising it. The shutdown of the government is not nearly as severe as what they all think and trying to tell you. The social and mass media is trying to scare you and tell you how awful it is. Well, the non-essential employees are not going to lose any money. They're just going to have a paid vacation, and their salary and income is just going to be delayed for a few weeks. And if they're on a month-to-month deal, there's lots of places they can borrow the money to pay it back on the shutdown. And you know how that is worked. And Andrew Jackson was the last president to actually balance the federal budget, and he had no national debt. Think about that. Oh, my. And Gatez was trying to do something about it. He was trying to hold their feet to the fire, but they overruled him and they passed it anyway. And, the upper limits, that spending funding gap, it's just a farce because they just keep raising it. And it all started real in big time in 1976, and it's happened 11 times since. And you got to remember that it's just the right and the left in Congress that is fighting one another for their own benefit, and they're not looking out for you. If they did, they'd watch this budget and they'd do their job right. Think about it. And that's a reason for some term limits and stop that kicking the can down the road. And I appreciate you subscribing. It helps me a lot. And, we're sorry the government is closed, but it ain't a disaster, so think about what's going on. And we keep pushing for raising that national debt. It's $33 trillion now, and it's rising every day. And we only have $4.8 trillion income. Now think about it. That's the money, I can't even wrap my head around that much money. And we got to go back and check it out. And just Google the spending clock, the debt clock, and see exactly where all your tax money's going by the second, and it'll scare you to death. Think about it, and think about it. The Congress can't be trusted. We got to do something about it. We got to stop it. We got to do something about it. And you got to remember that they sit there and spend trillions of dollars on unread bills, and then they want to know exactly how you spent $600. Now, think about that. You know, the government has never been a friend of the public and freedom. We've been in battle ever since the government was established. And we got to put the government on a counseling deal. We got to get term limits to where they can understand that you got to pay your bills and you can't go in debt and keep going in debt. And John Adams said there's two ways to enslave a country. One is by the sword, and the other is by debt. And right now we're enslaved in debt, and we are having to think about it. We got to watch it. And we are struggling, and we've suffered, and we can stand up, and because we know what it's like, and get our freedom back and go forward. And Gates and his few people are trying to work on it. Now then, they're trying to expel him. Oh, as they kick that can down the road again. And, we got to say, hit the road, Jack. And this is Thoughts While Thinking, and it's adios, amigos. And we'll see you on the flip side.